Live from the Hoboken Historical Museum in unseasonably warm Hoboken, New Jersey, it's Hoboken Talks, a weekly, it's like a parlor session, where we chat with the greats, the interesting, the infamous here in Hoboken. This week, how about if we talk to Lyle Heisen? Hysen. You've seen him around town. You've listened to him play the drums. You've watched TV programs and heard some music and maybe didn't realize that Lyle had something to do with that music getting on that show. What? We're going to find out all about it this week. Hoboken Talks. Hi, I'm your host for the week, Jack Silbert. And are we a little blurry? No, Lyle's nice. And maybe I'm blurry in real life. That's all right.
Not doing too well, are you?
I'm barely hanging.
You having a rough day?
Lyle, actually, when I was going to your show the other weekend, it was the path wasn't running.
No path, yeah.
And at one point, I had to get on the J train.
What?
I had to get on the J train.
To get to...
Yes.
What if a Kafta route were you on?
And from WTC.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
And I didn't know, I was all turned around.
Yeah.
And I was on the C train, and there was a sanitation fella. And I saw someone else ask him a question.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, I'll ask him a question. And I said, I don't want to bother you while you're doing your job, but is the J train anywhere near, And he says, no, you got to go up and around. And then he says, he says, what's your wallet? Because I had taken my wallet and it was going to maybe fall out of my.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm falling apart here.
Yeah.
And you know what he said? He said, take a breath. Everything's going to be okay.
All right.
And you know what? Everything was okay.
Well, take a breath. Everything's going to be terrible. Get ready for this.
We're here. We're live. Maybe you're watching us on Facebook. Possibly you're watching on YouTube. Twitter is possible to watch on. And also this episode only, I've made one of those like an NFT that is being auctioned on Sotheby's.
I thought it was being auctioned on the AARP website or the Hoboken Temple.
One of those. So if you're watching, what we would welcome you to do is you go onto your keyboards, and if you have questions, if you have comments regarding Mr. Hysen here, send them along. Sitting on the other side of this screen is Rand Hoppy. He of the collections division here of the Historical Museum. Also, as Lyle pointed out, the Jack Kirby Museum. He's the man behind that project. And he'll take your comments, and as long as they're polite.
I'm a pretty divisive character. Could get ugly.
He'll share them, so you're welcome to do that. Look, it says feel free to. It'll show up like this.
Wow.
On the screen where it says feel free to say hi or ask questions in the comments here. I'll do my best to share them with Jack and Lyle, and that comes in from Rand.
I don't know if I should look at you or the TV.
Some people recommend looking at the blue dot.
Oh, that thing.
And there's also a green light, but that was some guy in Gatsby said.
Oh. But I feel rude not looking at you while you're talking to me. Like, wouldn't that be rude?
We can also look at each other. There's a lot of options here.
Okay.
Can
I pace around?
At least one guest has gotten up to fetch something.
Really?
So
you had a dog on the
any
thing?
we had yes, with the the pandemic's been going on a little longer
Yes.
than expected. So we
I almost brought my dog to the talk.
your dog would be
But she's green. So I figured that would cause some problems.
Whoa! I see now.
Stop it.
Finally, we're live on the thing.
I told you.
I was trying to get it to show up live,
Kids
and there it
with their
is.
phones.
There it is.
Can't trust you kids.
Can't trust it.
Nope. Get off the TikToks.
If you're watching this and you'd like to, is like, oh, I enjoyed that, or I missed part of it because the kid started screaming or the dog, it's archived on YouTube, and you can watch this. You can watch almost every episode. Is
That's right.
nearly every one.
Did one get nuked?
We're working on it.
Oh, I thought it was like something bad happened.
Nothing bad. No, it just.
That you can't find it.
It's
It's not Bob Burt's, is it?
that Bob Burt one is up there.
Okay, good.
A lot of views on that one.
Good. Yeah.
A lot of views.
Gotta keep all the drummers up there.
I'm gonna share this so we're live. Look at that. Lyle, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely
With
no
us here.
problem. More
Um,
interviews in Hoboken. More interviews.
I wanna, do you mind if we start at the beginning?
Sure.
You do mind?
I absolutely want. Yeah. I want to
Where,
talk about
no,
last-
because I would say I know the high points of your life. I know the outline, but I want to know some of the in between stuff. Where'd you grow up and stuff?
I can't talk about that. I grew up out in Long Island,
Sure, in the
Yeah.
tri-state
in
area.
the tri-state area. I spent 17 years there, 18 years. And then I went to college.
Okay, all right. Wait, let's don't go that
Oh,
far yet.
oh, I'm
Wait
sorry,
a minute.
guys.
Wait a minute.
Just jumping ahead of those.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And
baby years. Yeah.
and the drumming,
Yes.
the drumming. And feel free. Earlier
Yeah. You
in the run of Hoboken talks, we were told not to hit on the table. But Rand, now it's okay to hit on the table.
Well, it's not nearly as bad. Yeah.
It's less bad to hit on the table.
Less
So if you
bad.
feel you have to do a little,
I will. And I do talk with my hands though, so that could be that could cause some accidents.
All right,
or something.
it's okay,
Knock over
it's
some
okay.
water.
so I'm
Yes.
curious about that. Was there
Yeah,
a lot of music in the home,
Oh,
or
interesting. Yeah. My parents, Murray and Arl, they listen to a lot of like Frank Sinatra and stuff like that. A lot of NEWAM.
sure?
A lot of good stuff like that. Really good memories of them, like singing along in the car to those kind of hits. And my brother was always into music, and he listened to a lot of like music that was on the radio.
Okay.
And he actually took me to one of my first concerts, which was Fleetwood Mac in 1978.
Excellent.
So so there was always a lot of music going on.
What was that? The Tusk tour?
No. I think 78. No, we were pre-Tusk.
Pre-Tusk?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Still rumors?
Yeah, I think it was rumors. Yeah, Nassau Coliseum, so they were pretty big, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. But there's no marching band.
No.
All
It's
right.
really not my favorite Fleetwood Mac. Look. Hi, Lisa from the Fourth Ward.
Lisa, hi.
How you doing? So so as a music prevalent, we had the clarinet and piano. I did a lot of piano,
Okay.
and but unfortunately, as I got into more punk and hardcore and stuff, the piano wasn't so called for.
You didn't see too much piano or even keyboard in a lot of the
Nope.
classic era punk
Well,
music.
I always had Steve Naive from Elvis Costello's band, and
Sure.
Johnny Fingers from the Boomtown Rats. Those are always those guys. And I was in a band when I was 14 or 15 with Jesse Malin. And we played a CB's audition,
Yeah.
and it was I was on keyboards,
Okay.
and my buddy Dave Moe, who will be a constant thread throughout this whole thing,
I love it.
was in the band, and there was Javier, and I can't remember who was on bass, but we played.
And these were all Long Island
no, well,
or
Malin's of Queens, Everyone else was queens except me, Mo and I. We were
Okay.
And so we did the audition, and I don't think we passed. And after that, Malin was like, "You're out. I don't want any keyboards."
Right.
And then I kind
And
of
he's like, someday I'm gonna own venues here and here.
and I'm gonna have so much keyboard on my record, like you wouldn't believe it. Keyboard, keyboard, keyboard. Malin, that didn't go past me. So so then after that, I was kind of knocking around, and I met the guys from the Misguided through Malin, and he said, and they were like, "We heard you're a drummer," and I was like, not really.
Not really.
No, but
But you
hardcore punk.
Yeah.
I can figure it out. 40 years later, I'm still trying to figure out how to play drums. But it was fun. We were all really terrible, just trying to figure out how to play.
it was not necessarily misguided.
Oh, it was misguided.
It was.
We were, it was a lot of passion. We were playing with a lot of passion, but we were
Sure.
playing above our pay grade. I
Okay,
guess.
all
So,
right.
it was definitely a lot of mistakes for me.
And,
But
college was in here somewhere.
and then college was happening, and then we had that eventually segued into Damen,
Where did you
NYU,
the popular school?
because I just wanted to practice, and we had a free practice space.
Now here,
Mm.
this is the most loyal viewer of Hoboken Talks.
Mhm.
Not just a viewer, he's been a guest.
Huh.
He was
Soon to be a host.
what?
It's true.
Oh, I'm going to ask him that question.
Yeah, you're gonna get asked some questions, Eric.
I'm coming at you.
Eric wants to know because you played the piano. At some point, you started playing the drums.
Yep.
Maybe there's some other.
Clarinet.
What instrument do you like best? I would say to play and maybe also to listen to.
Oh, I like the piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like all the piano stuff. I can still knock out a few notes, but I just think it always makes everything sound better. There's never a record that I hear that are like, it'd be great if there was no piano.
Right.
That's not a thing people say. Too much piano. The only person who said that was Jesse Malin. Look at him now, drowning in a sea of pianos. Damn him.
He might be at pianos right now.
Absolutely. He's going to buy it.
It could happen. Could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you're at NYU and you're
Yeah.
still playing in
That becomes the Das
Damen
Mach 1.
because you're always in touch with your friend David
Moe.
David Moe.
Okay, yeah. So Moe, actually, he was one of the, back when I was 14, he played me my first Clash record, and we saw Cheap Trick together at the Calderone when we were very young, 14, I assume as well, 15. So we've had,
What year was that for the Cheap Trick?
78. It was before Surrender broke. So
Okay.
it's like 78. It was a Heaven Tonight tour,
All right.
and yeah, it was fantastic.
Pre-Budokan.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Budokan.
Let's look at a few more childhood photos just while we're let's look. We saw this guy.
Okay, no, well that. So I want to.
No, wait, but
I have a secret. I want to tell you something about that photo.
Please.
That was me before the pandemic. That's all. It's a very recent photo.
It's been a rough couple of years.
Man, you would not believe what's been going on.
Now I had a question that I wrote down. Have you ever met any TV legends?
I thought you were going to ask me about the mock turtleneck there. But yes, as a matter of fact, I have. Yes, that is. I am there meeting Telly Savalas.
And my next question would be, who loves you, baby?
Telly kind of did. We were on a tour of the Paramount lot. That's all I remember.
In Los Angeles, California.
Yes, my dad was in advertising.
Sure.
So we had a tour of the Paramount lot, and there is Telly. And I have his autograph still.
Sure you do. Why would you? That wouldn't be nice fella?
Yeah, but as I told you, I haven't posted that on the internet because I did not want to break the internet. Like I just figured it'd be too much if I just posted Baby Lyle and Telly. It's too much of a photo. So you got the exclusive premiere.
Awesome.
How about that?
And then let's look at another photo. I think we have which
Okay.
combo is this?
Oof, that I forgot about that one. That is Midnight Thunder.
Okay, all right.
So that is in
It looks like a basement or
Basement Rock in Long Island there, and I'm playing keyboards and singing. So it's got to be like at least 79 or 80 because I'm wearing my Costello shirt.
And look what's on the music stand.
Yeah, Surrender. I'm definitely singing Surrender.
The aforementioned
Surrender.
Cheap Trick Surrender.
I did not know that Midnight Thunder could also have been interpreted as Jewish lightning, which I just learned the definition of the other day.
What?
Yeah, so it was nothing to do with it. So, and on the right there in the sketchy part of the photo there, Dave Mo. There he is.
Look at him.
Yeah.
And, who do we know who these other two
That's
fellas
Lenny
are?
Ram. Unfortunately, he's passed away. That is Sunil on drums. He left the band because he said, "What do you want to do? Grow up and become a garbage man?" But I wanted to practice too much. This was like in 9th grade, and he was kind of right. And then that's David Friedman on a guitar, who we're still pals with.
Nice.
Yeah, so there you go. He did not last long in the Midnight Thunder world.
Okay, and you were not just keyboards, but lead singer.
Yes, you were correct.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we played the local library.
Would you always stay? Or were you a standing keyboard
I
player?
was a standing keyboard player.
This is
This
is awesome.
I like the jeans. I'm sure I could still fit into those.
All right, and then okay, so let's go back to a 2-shot or no? Okay, what's the next one?
That's the Misguided.
Okay, all right.
Now we're in the hardcore land. As you can tell, I really embrace the hardcore look. I don't know if you. At the same time, I got the Circle Jerks album, Group Sex, and if you look at that album and you look at those guys, I was like, I can look like those guys,
Right?
Because they look like normal dudes. So I didn't feel I had to make a fashion statement.
You didn't have to
express my
with the mohawk and the.
It was enough. I was passionate about the music and very
You
very
loved
excited about it.
What's that?
So that's
the logo in the background
That's the
there.
Condemned building. That was our logo.
Okay.
I was gonna actually I put that as our backdrop, and because we were, my boys from Queens, they sell a lot of Condemned buildings.
Sure.
That symbol placement is very troubling to me right now. But besides that, that's at Great Gildersleeves. That's where we're playing. So there you go.
All right. All right. Now let's go back to a 2-shot there, and let's talk about the formation of the band Damen for a certain subset of people out there. That's what you will maybe always be known as.
A very small subset of people.
I don't,
So
it's a very exciting to me.
Okay, cool. It was Misguided were playing a lot of shows, but we were growing. There's a picture of us as the 5-piece, and the 5-piece Misguided, and we were growing away from the hardcore stuff.
Right.
And we added Dave Mo on second guitar.
Got to.
And we started playing more 60s kind of vibes. We were playing 125 by the Haunted. We played a hardcore matinee. Our lead singer, Rizzo, was wearing a tux. He was totally into Brian Ferry, even though he could not. No, Rizzo knows. He could not sing a note with that dude. But and we were not liked. But we were very into, like, this is what we're getting into, more 60s stuff.
Yeah.
And we actually went down to DC to record a record with Brian Baker and Bert Q at Don Zimmerman's studio, where all the DC bands recorded. Yes, exactly. And we couldn't finish it. It really brought out the warts and all of the whole band. And
Brian Baker of Dag Nasty, I guess, around that time. And
still Minor Threat, dude.
Okay.
This is not that late.
All right.
Minor Threat was still together. Yeah. And we were terrible, and that really pointed out that we were terrible.
Okay.
We couldn't make the leap without changing the band.
Yeah.
Like getting somebody who could sort of sing. So, what did we do? Yeah, so we got Jim. We were at NYU, and we met Jim Walters. We had a bunch of other people. We were trying to get. It was Jim. It was Alex, and it was Mo on bass, and I. We were trying to find a front person, and we auditioned a bunch of people. We were a band called Trash for a while that
Okay.
featured Danny Sage of Degeneration. He was the front guy for a while, and then but then eventually we landed on Jim.
Now, when did you give up your lead singer dreams?
Oh, mine? Oh,
Yeah.
immediately.
Immediately?
Yeah.
It didn't.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not. No, that wasn't the thing.
At no point did you think maybe
Maybe
I
I should.
Maybe I
Nah,
could.
My
No?
personality is not. Nah.
All right.
Just be up there complaining. What's wrong with you people? Come on. You feel like Richard Lewis fronting this film. It's just not a good thing. So I didn't know. I was happy. I was happy behind the kid. I felt safe. It was
Okay,
like, it's a
okay.
cliche thing, but you have your little wall, and especially during those misguided shows, people are not liking us. So it was good to have that. And then Das Damen, we came out and about, and we played some shows, and there's a good photo there coming up.
Let's take a look. So we got
Let's
one
do
more misguided photo.
Yeah. Well, no. Oh, dude, I
Wait.
forgot to tell that one.
Oh, tell it.
That it doesn't. The timelines were not good, but that is at the Replacements show at Maxwell's,
The one that's
where Jim Derogatis reported it that a bunch of punks came up on stage and took over the equipment.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, said punks.
These are just some sweet kids.
There's Jesse Malin there, and also with me was Danny from Danny Sage, who I mentioned. And,
Right.
we were up there, and we were kind of heckling them. Not really, they were a playful band.
Sure.
And they're like, "You guys think you could do better?" And then I think Danny took the bass, or did Malin take the bass? And Tommy Stinson was like, "Put down my fucking bass." So that was our riot on the stage of Maxwell's there. It had to be, what year was that, dude? Somebody out there in the internet, one of the 14 people, tell me what year that was. I can't remember.
Camera, look it up.
Come on. I'm looking at the 14. So anyway, oh no, that's that story.
All right, let's
Let's
look
move
at another
on.
photo.
There you go. So that's the end. That's the 5-piece misguided. See?
86.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's
And that's Rizzo, and that's Carco. Carco now is the bar back at Berlin. So I got a drink
oh
from him the other night.
yeah, sure.
And that's Alex, and that's Dave Moe. There you go.
Of course, Dave Moe.
Dave Moe.
And it's interest just appearance wise.
Yeah.
And you said musically you were going in a different direction. I would say that this photograph kind of reflects that this is not a hardcore band. This is maybe looking back towards the
Yes.
Cavern Club and
Yes. Yep. And you can tell I definitely embraced that look as well. With the scarf. I don't know.
maybe had a magic show at
Yeah.
an earlier bar mitzvah.
Yeah. Only Dave Moe knows. But yes, I think that might have been at the dive. That there. The board.
It's a nice shot.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, that might have been taken by Denise.
And then, so I think maybe we have an early dust Damen.
yeah, they're coming up. There we go.
Look at these.
Yeah.
Where is this
That's
photo?
that
Maxwell's in
downstairs.
Hoboken, New Jersey.
There you go. And
My
there,
goodness.
Yeah, wearing that's so I got a little thing going on with the vest and the ruffles. And
Okay, that's rock and roll.
That's a
That's
little more rock and roll. Hair starting to grow out. We got Dave Moe, Alex, and Jim, and that was right after our first Maxwell's debut, which my buddy Bill Ryan actually hooked us up with because
Bill Ryan, who he ran at
Peter Platters.
Peter Platter's record store.
I walked into Peter Platters and I gave him our demo, Too Hot for Hollywood, and I guess he gave it a Todd, and we got a show, and that was
Nice.
very nice. Yeah, it's
And maybe our man Steve Fallon probably also
Yeah.
signed off on it.
Yeah. And we also give a shout out to the hand on the bottom left there.
Let's do that.
It's
Yeah.
Monica D. Taking other photos for her, not at the time, but eventually moving away from the Pulse Beat fanzine.
Very, very nice.
So there you go. And you can make that joke. Our biggest fan is behind us.
I'm not going to do it.
Okay. And
I'm not going to do it.
All right, fine. But did we mention Jim Testa took the photo?
What?
Yes. It is
Local rock criticism guru Jim
Yes.
Testa
always there. Jim
took the
Testa.
photo. Now, but were you living in New Jersey at the time?
I was still at NYU at that point.
You're right. Yeah.
So, but I was frequenting the Maxwell's like most people did then a lot.
Well, what is it? Just what a couple of the shows that made you cross rivers for?
Boy, did I see some good shows. The Minutemen.
Sure.
That was a great one. For Shook. Some great Fugazi shows. A couple of those. Who's do? Red Cross New Year's.
Excellent.
Oh my God, dude. Just so many great shows.
Amazing shows.
Yeah. Oh, there's actually a Black Flag. I should have brought that. That just came up on the internet. Black Flag at Maxwell's. And you could see me and Mo and our buddy Dan McCleary standing up front. Until like the moshing really starts, and then we're kind of like, okay, we're kind of getting out of the way. But it's really intense, like long-haired Rollins staring at us. And it's great. It's a great show. It's such a good show.
So then, must have been thrilling now to be playing
Oh my
there.
God, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I'm playing a club I actually go to. Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, actually, you know what? That's not right. The clubs then, they were pretty forgiving, or more. You know, we played CBs, we played.
Sure.
We played the Misguided, played Maxes. You know, it was when you're a teen in a band, it's easier to get shows. You know, than if you're like some aged old guy trying to get gigs. So we played a lot of great places. It was awesome. So yeah, playing Maxwell's. It was awesome that we got the gig, because I think before then we were not having such a good time getting shows because we played Kenny's Castaways. I remember
Okay,
that.
but
And
still,
that's a little ham and eggers. So you know, so we made it to Maxwell's, and that was great. God, I wish was Phantom Toll Booth on that bill.
that'd be insane if they were.
I know we played Maxwell's with them. So Mr. Memory does not know right now. Mr. Google Box.
No, we're not. We're gonna try to, or Eric Kammer. Look it up, my
No,
friend.
don't look it up. I
Oh.
like him being engaged.
Okay.
It's kind of like being on the Uncle Floyd show.
I was gonna do Oogie, but I'm not going to.
Please. Please do.
I'm not going to.
I'm gonna walk off.
All right, now.
What else we got?
Do we have one more? Don't we have?
I don't know. I don't remember. Oh,
Yeah,
now
look
we're
at
late.
that.
Okay, so now at this point we have
Now, where is this taken? No, okay.
tried to get you all my Jersey shots, my Hoboken shots.
I appreciate that.
So now we are.
Not every episode of
Oh, this-
Hoboken Talks has enough Canadian content in it.
Yeah.
Wait,
is
I'm
that why it
confused.
got
I'm
taken down
confused.
in one
I'm
episode? So this is later, Damen. Maybe 88. And it's funny, this might have been our photo session for Sassy. Remember they used to do like Cute Boy Alert or something? Cute Band Alert?
Sure.
I don't know. Alex is not winning Cute Band Alert. But that is a rough photo. You know. But so we were at that practice space on Grand Street. Has anyone talked about that?
Nope.
Talking about Rock and Roll Hell?
Look,
Okay, so-
Hoboken Talks is not a music themed show. Just
But
when
you
I'm
have-
when I'm the host.
You've had Bob Burt.
Yeah,
You've had some music.
I've had
guests.
some of the greats.
Yes, the legends.
And the Karen Cools,
Kind of cool.
the Todd Abramsons.
So yeah, so it is. So maybe everyone's like, oh my God, he's gonna talk about Rock and Roll Hell. Rock and Roll Hell was at $315 grand. It was right around the corner from Leo's. It's now. Guess what it is now?
Lacerdo Brothers.
I wish. No, it's a fucking condo. Oh yeah, you'll have to curse on this thing.
Depends who you ask.
All right, I'll try to
No, you can. Yes.
Okay, so it's a condo. They knocked us down, but everyone practiced there. Yo La practiced there. Sonic Youth practiced there.
Yeah.
Everybody. Sleepyhead. Everybody.
Now at this point, you
Yeah.
had moved to Hope.
Oh yes. Okay, so I moved to Hoboken.
You graduated
Graduated
from
college.
with a degree in what? In rough
wait,
housing.
John is asking a question. It was on the same block as Water Music, but not in Water Music. It's not the same building. It was down the block, closer to Leo's.
Our friend John O'Toole.
Thank you for asking. Okay, so I graduated college. I lived in Queens for a couple of years.
Did you
Yeah.
mention the major? Did you mention the major?
My major?
in college?
Oh, I was part of the Gallatin division. So you create your own major,
Okay.
which also means
It's not the deaf school.
no. It also just means you get practice a lot for free because we had a free practice space there. It was great.
Fantastic.
So yeah, graduated.
So you were going all in for this music stuff.
Well, yeah, I actually had an internship at MTV, and when I graduated, they offered me a job, and much to my parents' chagrin, I was like, nope, I'm gonna play music.
Okay, all right.
And I did not take the gig, and I don't regret that move.
You could have met a young Evan Fontaines.
Oh boy. I went to a couple of New Year's Rockin' Eves. I met Lemmy at one. I met Joey Ramone. I
Nice.
saw the vinyls. Yeah, those were pretty rough. So anyway, yeah, so I moved to Hoboken. 88.
Okay.
And my first roommate was
Rand Hoppy.
even better. You're gonna like this one. Rob Grenoble. Yeah.
Look, we had a guest from Rand.
Mm-hmm. I went to Pure Platters and I said, I'm trying to move here because, we had a practice space, Rock and Roll Hell, and I was, commuting from Queens, and it was not, we were practicing a lot because that's what bands should do.
Should.
And yes. And so, yeah, Bill's like, well, I know this guy's looking for a roommate. And so I moved into Rob Grenoble's apartment. And that was on Adams Street. Yes, 1 block away from he still has that building. It's the craziest layout. I have never seen it in another building in Hoboken. It's like there's a kitchen and a bathroom, but then it splits into 2. So I had like on the hard right was my living room and bedroom.
Okay.
And hard left was his living room and bedroom. So we only intermingled during food and bathroom stuff.
You could have had one of those sitcom things where you got in a fight and you drew a line down the middle.
Yes, absolutely. The sitcom thing was his girlfriend or wife having a dog that really did not like me. And that was not great. I love the doggos, but that was not one that loved me.
Yeah.
I think he was anti-Semitic. So, but that was a great time. So yeah, I just moved into Hoboken, and I remember one summer the power blew out. And I was like, no one else was home in the building. So I walk out into the street and some kid's like, did the power blow out? And this kid's like, yeah, it happens in Hoboken all the time. Too many air conditioners. And I was like, what? Is this
a street urchin?
Yes. And I was like, is this a thing you get used to living in Hoboken? And I guess they figured out. I was like, is this part of the things you get used to living in Hoboken? Okay. So a few. No stop signs every corner, right? The flooding, all the fun stuff. But they did fix the power blowing out in the summer. That did not stick.
Okay.
And that kid was wrong. And now he's a city councilman. But so there you go. But that was my early times in Hoboken. It was still 88. It was still, a little rougher.
All right. Maybe the two shot. So you're in this band, Damen, that's then recording on prominent independent labels of the day.
Yep. SST. Twin Tone
out of the Twin Cities there.
And then last record was on Sub Pop. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
This is pretty good.
Yeah,
but also
we kept on failing up.
And meanwhile, I was I was like a college DJ in that era.
Yes.
And you're one of those bands. That was one of those bands. And what was confusing for me was there was Das Damen, and then there was Die Kreuze, and I was like, wait, which? And then there was Naked Ray Gun, which didn't have the exact same name, but it was kind of
yes. We were definitely influenced by the Kreuzen, and we were happy to be Das Damen until we started touring in Germany, and everyone was like, it's Die Damen, and so that was always a thing. So maybe not the
well, John F. Kennedy, if he can make mistakes in the
we knew it wasn't right. We just thought it sounded good.
Right.
But when you get over to Germany, they want everything right. So yeah. So the trains are running on time and your band name is spelled wrong. So it was it got a little exhausting after a while. But we toured Germany a lot. Yeah, we worked really hard. We were touring a lot, and we were broke all the time.
Yeah, but you were saying that you had some other jobs
Oh, yeah.
during these years. What were some of those?
I was a foot messenger.
Okay.
And I have absolutely, the Jewish sense of direction.
And that's not delivering feet. That's
No.
opposed to being like a bike messenger.
Yeah, I was schlepping around town, but the joke. It's like the Jews, they go right, it's to the oil, and the left, it's the desert, and they go left. That's my sense of direction.
Right.
It's just like I had no clue where I was going. It's pre-phones.
Pre-phones.
Yeah, so I just lost all the time.
And not just this is pre-Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah,
so this is what we're talking about.
I was talking on like a Flintstone, like a bone. It was. I was lost a lot.
Yes.
I was a terrible football.
All right, so not that job.
Okay, then also for a while I was this was a Hoboken job. Where was that? I was putting the saran wrap on gift baskets during Christmas time.
Okay.
With the air blower, hot
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was working there with Dave Moe, and they separated us because we were laughing too much. Yep, $5 an hour, inhaling fumes from Mars
At the old Cresties.
Yeah.
No,
I will remember the name of the gift shop. They're around for a while, so
it might be the main exhibit downstairs, a history of.
Oh yeah, they'll be like Lyle worked here.
Could be.
Yeah. So then also I worked at Pure Platters.
Sure.
I was not a legendary Pure Platters. It may be legendary, and then I was bad.
Okay.
Math is not my bag.
You said something like you're the team B or.
I was the B team.
B
team.
team.
I worked in the CD store.
Now, for those who remember, for those who don't remember, so Pure Platters itself on
Newark Street. 55 now is
the north side of Newark.
It's like Cookie Mania, whatever.
Insomnia Cookies.
So bad.
Well, the cookies are okay.
No, they're not.
The cookies are okay.
They figured out how to make bad cookies. That's why they're having insomnia.
Look, to get a warm cookie in the middle of the night. What's bad about that? Unclear. To me.
All right. Fine.
All right. And also better than it being like a realty office.
Yes, realty. Yeah.
Nothing against realtors, but nails,
a bank. We got plenty of those things. Okay, so
all right. So then
Newark, and then on First Street was the CD store.
And when approximately was that?
Okay, so I was working there when Nevermind came out. So that's 89 or 90, right? Because I remember just working there.
It's a little later.
91?
Yes.
Okay, so I was working then. So around that era, it was a lot of CDs being sold.
Sure.
Bring back the CD. So yeah.
I think it's quite back.
We can get into that later. But yeah, so I was working there some, and I was also working at C here in Manhattan, the fanzine store, which
wonderful shop.
Yeah, and as a PA on a couple of commercials, using that college
get the
college degree to my fullest.
You get the zines there.
Oh, you get the fanzines at C here, yeah. So that's how I sustained my livelihood of making music and playing in a band and touring and constantly losing money.
Right.
So,
And then, but the Dust Time and bands. Not all bands last forever. So some bands have to go away.
It is a different time, I think bands now are going to last forever. It's easier to last forever now than it was then. Because then it was really about you needed a label to be supportive, and you can just put music up on the internet and just kind of have at it. I definitely feel if we were already on 3 labels and 5 records, so we were like.
Now, why was that? Because that seems unusual for the era. It seems like if you're on SST, you'd be an SST band.
Yeah, we did SST for 3 records, and then they were rough. I mean, unless you were really blowing up, they were not a friendly, a positive label to be on. Okay. That's my nicest answer.
Okay, all right.
So so we're like,
but still a nice little feather in your cap.
Yeah, of course. And then Twin Town was very excited to work with us until we didn't become successful. And then honestly, we made demos for another Twin Tone album, and they said we don't hear a hit.
That's so interesting to hear, sort of a major label attitude from
Yeah.
uh
And that record, so then after that, the demo where they didn't hear a hit, basically those sessions, but those songs became our last record, which is on Sub Pop, which came out at the time when Sub Pop was the most broke. Like before Nevermind, they were just like a disaster. They had no money for promo. It was really rough. So at that point, and we've done some big tours. We toured with the Screaming Trees, we toured with Nirvana, every band in the world we've played with. So at that point, we were kind of like, where are we going to go?
right.
What are we going to do? So it was heartbreaking, though. It was, we put years and so much work into that thing.
But also talk about the feathers in the cap, and this came up just independently on Facebook like a week ago or so. Because I guess there's a story about Jay from Dinosaur Jr. doing sound for My Bloody Valentine at Maxwell's, and various people commenting, and I guess a fairly a legendary thing that Ira Kaplan of Yola Tango, for those who don't know, who did work some sound at the famous rock club, that he labeled a volume knob louder Das Damen.
Yeah.
So that's...
I know. We had a couple of really rough shows there. We kept on blowing out the power, which goes back to that kid on the street. Hey! Anytime Das Damen plays, the power blows out. Damn you, kid. So, but yeah, we blew out the power a couple of times there, and that was just youthful over enthusiasm.
Sure.
Gotta be loud. It was,
if it's too loud, you're too old.
Yeah, it was too loud.
It was too loud. Turns out it was too loud.
Yeah, it wasn't the smartest approach. But it took years to learn that.
Okay.
We were schlepping around like Marshalls and SVTs and a 26-inch bass drum. Like we were schlepping around big gear into the back of the van. And that we didn't have roadies here. We had a couple of friends out with us. Sure. So we did a lot of it was a lot of work, but it was great.
All right. And you look back fondly on the recordings. Do you say
yeah. I mean, it's weird. That's a good question. I mean, the last one that we did on Sub Pop sounds to me like the best. That one is dated well, like it sounds well. It's one for Twin Tone is a little soft. We were trying as bands like the fucking Lemonheads and all those bands were like getting signed and stuff.
Yeah.
So we were like, I mean, we had pop songs, so that one's a little poppier, not as heavy, and that kind of bums me out a little bit. But it was in that moment. We were up at Fort Apache. That was the studio. Dinosaur recorded there. Buffalo Tom were recording there. That was the hot studio to be making music of that type. So we were right in the thick of it, and we were swinging. So
all right. Now, what happens next for Hoboken resident Lyle Heisen?
Where am I living at that point? Am I still with Grenoble? Yeah, I'm still with Grenoble. So after Damen breaks up, I very briefly managed some bands, including Yola Tango for a few minutes, and Cell Band, who were on Geffen, and Sleepyhead, but that was really short. That might have been maybe a year and a half max, because I quickly learned that I really did not like it.
Okay.
Because I did a lot. Bill Ryan helped manage Das Damen, but I did a lot of managing as well. So I was like, I could do this. It would be the same thing without breaking down drums. But I was like, but you're not making the music or playing the shows, so it's really not that enjoyable.
Okay.
You're just getting a bunch of guys. Some of the people were not so easy to work with.
But spoiler alert, probably that experience probably helped with some later things that you...
Absolutely, yes. So I got a job at Matador, running their
popular
indie label.
A major independent.
Yes, really at Swinging Time for those guys.
Yeah, the Yola Tango.
Liz Phair, The Pavement, the John Spencer, all the hits. And I was running
Guided by
Guided by Voices. Yep. So yeah, I was helping running their publishing company, and then we started getting fax requests for licenses. Which is someone asking to use a song in a TV show or a movie, like a Liz Phair song.
right.
And I was like, "What is this? What is this kind of thing that's happening? People are wanting to pay for songs." It didn't because at that point you only heard major label music in film and TV shows, and then then some shows started dipping their toes into independent music.
Right.
And then I'd be like, well, maybe you don't have enough money for Liz Phair, but have you heard Helium, which is basically just kind of a bait and switch pitching.
And again, for people
Oh,
listening,
sorry.
that's not that. Have you heard someone inhaling helium?
Yes.
That was a
Mary,
band.
Mary Timony, the best.
Sure.
So, not to get into the weeds of licensing, but so that was just, I started pitching music to film and TV.
And now, here's a question that I didn't pre-plan, but to me it's interesting.
Okay.
And hopefully it'll be interesting to a couple of people out there.
Yeah.
Because in that late 80s, early 90s, there was, at least I felt, a strong concept of that selling out, was the worst thing that you could do. Was there was a pureness to independent music, maybe to other fields of expression as well, but it seemed very especially to music, and to have a song in a commercial or anything, it was a horrific thing. And from that moment to the moment we're in right now, there couldn't be a bigger shift. So could you talk about that
first,
just a little bit?
First let's talk about this. When I hear a Clash song in a car commercial, it makes me flinch. I understand the pain, but I understand, that people have when they hear this, because it means so much to them, so I get it. But, and so back then, when bands were making money and had other avenues and things like different revenue streams, like selling records, that where you would make money doing that stuff.
Crazy. What a crazy concept.
So maybe some bands didn't need to do it. It seemed like a cash grab.
Yeah.
Especially if you were doing a McDonald's commercial, or a commercial for Hitler. It seemed like a bad move career-wise to go there.
I may have had mono that year.
You didn't see the Hitler brand? It was a soap. Oof. Sorry. Anyway, so a lot of bands, especially I was at Indie Central.
99% pure.
Yeah. Very bad. So I'm at Matador, where bands are turning down stuff left.
Most of these episodes are on YouTube.
I know. It's so bad. This is why I don't run for city council. There's so bands are turning stuff down because it's a bad thing to do, right? But then, some of these bands are smaller, especially on the independent level, and they don't make that much money.
Right.
So if you're going to have your song in the background of a bar of a Gilmore Girls episode, and you're going to make, $10,000, you don't have to do anything. Because I also have to tie this back to Das Damen. I forget to tell this story, part of licensing, is that Das Damen had a song in a Ted Hope movie. And I can't even remember which one. Yeah. And we got $5,000. And I remember being like, I didn't have to move my drums for that. I want more of that.
Yeah.
But it was definitely way before. I don't even know how we got it. But it was before it was really a thing.
Right.
I assume it was. Oh no, Ted Hope isn't the name of the director. That's the filmmaker. It's the producer. Wow, I'm really having a senior moment. But anyway, to get me out of this one, I will go
Hal Hartley. Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy shit, dude.
That's right. That's my era.
You were speaking Lyle-ese. That is impressive. I was nowhere on that one. I was going to be ruined for the rest of the evening. That guy who made the movies with the people. Like I was just, I had nothing to go on. Trust? It might have been trust. So yeah, so I'm at Matador, and I was like, so and the climate's changing as years go on, to the point where, and by this point, let's see, I moved to 221 Willow, and that was the closest I got to Washington Street. I had my own apartment there.
Nice.
That was a nice one. Railroad, classic 4 Railroad. And that is now across from that Mojo coffee spot. It used to be just a meat place. So I had such a view. But now it's that's a good coffee spot. I like using Hoboken Fest. But so near the end of my tenure at Matador, the OC starts happening, and the Gilmore Girls start happening, and One Tree Hill start happening.
Yeah.
And all these shows are putting in independent music. And I'm working at Matador.
And I would say, from my perspective, that seemed kind of cool rather than any kind of a negative.
Well, because these people were legitimately passionate about the music, like Jason Schwartz, the guy behind the OC, he loved Death Cab. And the people who worked on Gilmore Girls, they really loved Belle Sebastian. So it was great to talk to these people.
And I'll also, and if we're interviewing you, this is not my recollections of life or anything, but
more exciting than mine.
I distinctly remember, being of an age where, instead of the commercials having songs from the 60s and 70s, I'm like, the people who are choosing these songs are my age.
Yeah.
And that was kind of nice, actually.
We call that, it's literally called the Nick Drake moment. When Pink Moon was in a car commercial and everyone was like, why is this really good song that only 15 people know about in this car commercial? This makes no sense. Aren't I the only guy that likes Nick Drake? So that was the moment where like there's good people in them hills.
Right.
Now, to be clear, there's a lot of people who work in the music supervision who are not music freaks. So that's what makes the job so challenging. But at that sweet spot of a moment, I'm at Matador, and other bands and other labels are asking while I'm working at Matador, can I pitch their music to film and TV? And that I couldn't because I had a job. But at that point, I took the leap. I have a very supportive wife, Lisa, and we figured out, can we pay the mortgage of our apartment? Now we're at 502 Jeff. See, we're moving down.
Right.
And we just went for it. And
what's I'm worried about that Delfino's corner.
Oh yes, exactly. I know. But that's when I started Bank Robber.
Where were you? Above Diana's?
We were right next to Diana's, between best egg sandwich.
Yes,
so good. And up the block was Lisa the hair cutter. She's not there anymore. But so
you start Bank Robber music.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's a handsome logo.
Thank you.
And all guests of Hoboken Talks get not a Bank Robber music mug, but a Hoboken Talks mug.
We've never made mugs. We've made a lot of other.
Why wouldn't you make mugs?
I don't know. Hard to. I don't know.
What's that?
Who wants a licensing company mug? Okay, fine.
I'm not saying do it.
All right, I gotta go. So I've been doing Bank Robber, and that's been my gig for the past 15 years.
And
do we know what? Do they know what the people? The 13 people know what the Bank Robber is? Should I explain that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Bank Robber is a third-party licensing company, and we represent all sorts of.
Well, let's go back to the two-shot for this, because.
Wow, you got to see this.
Well, you're talking, and
okay. So
to me, it's more interesting than looking at a cartoon coffee mug.
Is it?
How are we doing on time?
We're wrapping it up.
Oh, geez. All right, we gotta. Okay. Well, so we don't have to do a You don't have to
hard
do it.
8.
It doesn't have to be a hard
I
8.
ate before I came here, so I'm okay.
And that was which was a Paul Thomas Anderson hard 8.
Oh, sure.
I don't know.
I'm not
Did you place any music in that?
No, he doesn't. He picks his own music.
Okay.
So we started Bank Robber and
Third party
licensing company. So I represent like independent labels and put their songs into film and TV shows. And we have Merge and we have Mute Records. We have Delmark Records. We have a dozen labels or so.
and you have some artists that are not on labels.
Yes, we
and
pick up.
did they approach you? Do you approach them?
It's a mixture.
It's a mixture. Okay.
Yeah. So we are.
Are you overwhelmed by people saying,
Yes.
please represent? Well, we would be great in a show.
Yeah, I kind of gave up the ghost over the break, and it's like, okay, just send. I put on Facebox, just send your demos, and it was a disaster.
Oof.
I know, because you know what? People join Facebook who I don't know, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna be Lyle's friend, and for some reason I feel maybe there's somebody I want to know,
Right.
but then it's just a bait and switch that they just want to send me a demo.
I just want to send a
And
demo.
I'm like, just don't friend me to send me a demo. There's plenty of other ways. You want to see pictures of my kids? Oh, thank you.
Hard 8. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, John O.
Yeah, he's still listening. Mazel tov.
Yeah, there's
So,
more people listening now than were listening
'cause
before.
It's almost over. They're like, thank God.
They're
I
like,
listened to Lyle
they're
for
like,
5 minutes. So I got there's much Lyle.
is
I can
this
say.
the Shaun White?
Yeah.
You
We'll be back right after this commercial. This coverage is a disaster. Oh. Thank you.
Kate Brennan, this is a thrill for me. She, and Kate, I'm going to be in the Tucson area at the very end of the month if you know of anything exciting for me to go to. But she says, if I pledge enough, can I get both the Hoboken Talks and Bank Robber Music mugs? Really enjoying the conversation.
Thank you.
Kate, thank you. And Kate, and I'm not pitching her to the Bank Robber family, but just worth a listen for absolute sure.
All right. Well, now that she's a friend of yours,
Is on the Omnivore.
Was she on Omnivore?
Yeah.
I work with Omnivore. Who is she on?
Did I make that up? Kate, comment again. I thought you're on the Omnivore, right?
She's on Omnivore.
And it's like a glam rock. It's tremendous.
I don't think she's on.
Okay, what?
She split. See, we're down. She left.
Takes a while.
Yeah, she split.
There's a lag.
Anyway, so,
how many? Where do you have offices? Do you have employees?
Well, we did have offices before the
What?
pandemic. We had an office down in the Wall Street area, which was a blast. As you
Okay.
know, Hoboken resident, you can take the ferry. It was
Sure,
nice.
sure.
But then the COVID started, and
The last record was on Omnivore.
I'm sorry. I'll take a look.
I didn't just fall off of
that's good.
the turnip thing.
Wow, that's embarrassing. Sorry, Kate. What was I saying? So yeah, the pandemic, all that stuff. Will you give us a break on the rent? No. So
Right.
we just ran our lease out, and so now we are currently working part time out of the Bar None office in Hoboken. which
In
makes-
the Newman a
Leather.
building that we want to survive.
yes, no arson.
I think that was one of the first times I don't know, have one of those shirts of the Tenants Association and Ira Kaplan was going to City Hall meetings, and it's important for art to remain. All right, we're going to go to at least 8:10 because we need to talk about the current musical project that you're in. We haven't even mentioned it.
That's okay. That's
No, not okay. It's not okay.
okay.
This image behind us is the cover image
Mhm.
of the brand new. It came out last week.
Yes.
The EP
Yes.
by the band that they've now put out. It's a handful of records.
Yeah. Keep it busy.
The Royal Arctic Institute.
Yes.
And what you talk about a little bit, and I'm going to post the Bandcamp link to this record. I'm going to post it in the chat.
You can do that.
Sure, I can.
All right. You're really just gonna check. The Knicks didn't do any trades. There's really nothing to catch up.
Did you hear that James Harden was
Oh my
traded
God.
to the?
What a bunch of goofballs. Anyway, so yeah, still playing music. I met John Leon a few years ago. He's a guitar player through my buddy Jerry Smith, who was our bass player. And
Both terrific guys.
Yep, and we are an instrumental band. We put out our first record on cassette, and that's been reissued by Lightning Records out in LA. And then we have a second record that was put out by Rhyme and Reason,
I know a little bit about that.
and that's on vinyl. But we
also share office space with.
I know I have so much stuff going on at Newman Leather that it's my practice. The band practice space is there, and the office is there. So I spend a lot of time in Newman Leather. And then we have a new and now. Then we put out a cassette last year.
Sodium Light.
Yep, that is on Rhyme and Reason. And then this year, we put out a new cassette last week, and that is on Already Dead tapes and cassettes. Or tapes.
Look at that! That came
Yeah, what is it
up.
called? Yes, very nice.
So people can click on that,
Mm-hmm.
and they can listen. They can just listen to it.
Yeah.
And so instead of being, it's not the hardcore music that they used to play. It's not.
It's age appropriate.
I would say the word cinematic comes to mind.
That's a good word. I like that.
And you were 3-piece, and now you're 5-piece, and it's just. Well, I did work in math for a while, but it's improved geometrically exponential.
Do you like? Do you like the 5-piece more than the 3-piece?
It's hard to. I'm gonna say yes. Okay. I'm gonna say yes. But I love the 3-piece.
Yeah, thank you.
It's just it is a fuller sound going on, and there's some keyboards.
Yeah, we got a keyboard player.
Now, have you thought maybe you'd like to play the keyboard?
I'd like to play a song with him. That might be nice. But maybe, but he is frighteningly good. Carl
Bagley.
Yes, another ex-Hoboken guy. Moved out after Sandy.
He was in the Elk City.
Yeah. He's a very, very good keyboard.
Yeah, we like crying. So
right now, all the
who's
music.
in the? Well, let's see some pictures. We didn't even talk. So this is from. We gotta
go back.
We gotta go back for a second
All
because
right,
this is from the popular TV show Orange is the New Black.
Yes, and so I did a lot of work on that show musically, and then one day the supervisor called me and he was like, "We're gonna put together a band for the warden. Send me some people that don't really look like rock stars." And I was like, "Have I got some people for you?" So I immediately called Tom Bajor, Hoboken resident, and
Is there on the
and Tim Folion, and I just said, "Send me your worst photos." And they were like, "What is this for?" I said, "Tinder." No, I said, "Send me your worst photos." J-date. And then we would, and I sent him over, and he's like, "Oh yeah, those are good." And so we put together the band to back the warden. And they actually sent lyrics. The script writers wrote lyrics, and they've never written lyrics before. They're just like long tomes. It was ridiculous. And they're like, make music to that. So Tim won the Oscar, the Grammy, the EGOT. He figured out how to make them into songs.
And Tim, whose name has come up on a few of these Hoboken talks, but if you go into the guitar bar, you might see him in there, and also just a terrific performer, guitarist, songwriter,
artist, and now therapist.
And that's a whole nother.
Yeah, you gotta have him on.
I gotta have him on the show.
Yeah, he's a very
Rand, put him on too, and Tom Bajor has not been on.
Really, even with his fancy book, you didn't have him on to promote that thing.
This is a tough gig.
Oh,
Hoboken Talks.
I know. You got people lining up, literally.
But that's terrific.
Yeah, so they back the warden. There he is in the center there, and that's the drummer of Not a Surf, because whatever. So they needed a drummer.
Right.
And I didn't. I was on the gig. So the
But Tom has produced Not a Surf, so it all ties in.
Yep, and he helped produce the Warden guy who never sang before, and got him to figure out how to get him through a few songs. So there are songs. Yeah, the band was called Side Boob.
It's a funny name. Now, was that? Did they even put that out on Spotify
It's
or anything?
on.
or-
It's on something like SoundCloud. I know Jennifer O'Connor, who was involved with the songwriting, she released them somehow, and they're great. Yeah, that was super fun. So there you go.
We love that Jennifer O'Connor.
Oh, she's the best.
She is.
Huh? Oh boy, man, we're never getting out of here.
I know, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all. It's not.
Get some coffee. Get some beers. What's going on here?
This is a sweet project that you were involved in. Just to mention it briefly.
Okay, so my old friend Roya, she was a Hoboken resident,
All right.
mom, and she had a daughter that was my daughter's age, Charlotte, and they went to preschool and stuff like that together. And you're hanging out more when your kid's little, right? You know, you're going to the play dates and stuff. So she saw that I'm a doodler, and Roya said, "Oh, I wrote this book. Will you draw it?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Absolutely not, because I'm not very good at this." So, but she gave me the outline.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, a couple of years later, she passed.
Eesh.
And so, as a tribute to her and her family, I drew the book to the best of my ability with help from my buddy Johnny. And we put out the book. You know, I self-published it. It's on Lulu or whatever that thing is called. And you can still get it there. And it's a female empowerment story. And one of the characters kind of looks like Roya. And, we made some money and we gave it all to a charity that we felt that Roya would approve of. And one of the best things was the husband wrote me a very beautiful letter.
Nice.
Thank you for doing that.
And I've read this book at story time at the Hoboken Fire Museum. And it's a big hit with the kids. And then in my virtual story time, I returned to it, and I would say it's a rudimentary art style, but it's charming.
Yes,
it's charming because I like to draw a little, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and
well, there was a reason I said no. I was like, I can doodle, but I can't really draw. So that was talk about playing above your pay grade. Really, that was really hard.
But it's also it is empowerment, but it's also fun. It's a funny book, and it's sweet, and I think so. Anybody out there with kids, Google this Princess Galatra, or you type in the name Lyle Heisen, and that'll come up where you can
you for your
purchase that.
Book. Yeah.
Let's see another. So this is the 3-piece version.
Yep, that's outside of.
Who can say? Who can guess? Yes, the Assyria Gallery, and also in the Newman Complex.
Yep.
And this is
that was during pandemic.
First winter of pandemic.
Yep. Okay, so Mo is back in the band there, and John. So they both work in hospitals. So they were always getting tested and everything.
Yeah.
So we were able to practice throughout the pandemic.
Excellent.
So we've been making a lot of music for the past 2 years, and but at that point we were still we were a 5-piece before this, but then the pandemic started, and we couldn't get the other 2 cats back because of fear of they were a little scared of getting together. So but I was fearless.
Sure. Fearless.
Yeah.
And then we have another. This is a practice space.
Yep, that's in there. We're missing our second guitar player, Lynn. But
Lynn, who I only learned recently, is a gentleman.
Oh yes, he's a gentleman and a scholar.
No, but I saw the name Lynn, and I don't know, I guessed it was not a guy.
Oh yeah.
So
you
learn things.
So there's the practice space. That's in Newman leather, and that was a while ago too. Yeah, that must have been before pandemic. We took that picture. So that's by my buddy Fred Brockman, another Hoboken legend,
and a name that comes up often.
Yes. So there you go. That's by my buddy Fred. There's Mo. So there you go. What else we got there?
And
There's 5-piece. There we go. And our
there's everybody.
full fuzzy glory.
All right. And the Royal Arctic Institute.
Yep, and it's by the art's by our buddy Scott, and he does all our artwork stuff.
And then you mentioned your wife. So the next slide.
There we go. Yes.
Published a book. What do we have here?
So she put out a book, unfortunately, during the pandemic,
Yes.
called Your Starter Kitchen.
Okay, so couldn't really do the in-person events and
Couldn't
things.
even do a little city.
Oh,
Couldn't
Well-
even walk all the way from First and Jackson, where we live now, past 15 years, honestly, all the way up to First Street. Not like the hoi polloi here that lives on First and Bloomfield.
all right. Well,
So she couldn't even do that. So it's a lovely book. It's about all the types of stuff you'll need for your kitchen, no matter what part of your life you're in.
oh,
Like if you're graduating college,
yeah.
if you're living by yourself. Oh, there's my brother.
Jeff Hysen
Yes.
says, "What a talented family." What does Jeff do?
Well, currently, Jeff has a new podcast about the Mets that just launched last week.
Whoa.
Yes. And so, yeah, we needed more podcasts about baseball.
All right, but what's the name of it? Do we know?
Jeff.
Jeff, tell us the name of it so
I
we
can't
can
remember.
Come on,
I'm
Jeff.
sorry.
Well, there's a slight delay, but
I
put
know
it up
Jeff
there.
will get there. And my buddy Johnny.
If you want to put a link, you can put a link.
Yeah, put a link to your podcast, Jeff. And so that's 14 people.
But that's
We named
great.
the other-
But
Starter
for
Kitchen.
is Lisa Chernick is
Yep.
the name that they can
Yeah,
type into the Google, and it's on Amazon.
Yep, or Bookshop, or so you don't buy it on Amazon, you buy it at Bookshop.
I know, but you know, if you're
Yeah.
buying light bulbs, you get to
I
put
know,
them,
of
you
course.
know.
The National League town. There you go. Sorry, Jeff. Oh yeah, and Jeff used the Royal Arctic Institute as our
Nice.
intro music. I didn't approve that, dude. You're getting a cease and desist. That is coming down.
And so maybe in the coming weeks and months, maybe an event at the little city we can.
My book's almost 2 years old. I don't know if Donna wants to do anything for.
I think, come on, it's a local book.
I don't know. Will anybody go?
Oh, okay.
You go? Okay.
Not much of a chef.
Yeah. But you need to at least have the right pots and pans in your house. And this will get you, that's a gateway drug to make you learn how to cook.
Not
No,
really.
it's not going to happen.
It's not an interest of mine. All right.
How much ordering can you do in Hoboken? The food's not that good.
I'm not that fancy.
Okay.
All right. Good. And then finally, you have a
yeah.
gig coming up, and anybody watching who's in the local area who enjoys music and hasn't seen a show at the Fox and Crow, you're missing out. Because first of all, it's so close to Hoboken that if you can get to that little 9th Street elevator,
Yeah.
boom, you're there. From 5th Street, I can get to Fox, and I don't have feet, ladies and gentlemen. I can get to the Fox and Crow faster than I can get to the Pat station.
Dude, it's for me, First and Jackson. It's way closer than schlepping up to what used to be Maxwell's.
And so the Royal Arctic Institute will be a Saturday. That's a pretty good gig.
Yeah, 2 sets.
And $10. And I'm glad that they started charging a fee at the door because it was getting overcrowded there at free shows.
Yeah.
So that's just a little bit of a gateway, a little and
So, spoiler alert, we don't really have enough for 2 different sets yet. So we'll be working on that. I was like, dude, you want an opener? And he's like, nope, 2 sets. I was like, huh. All right, maybe a little jamming.
a cover. People love a nice cover
Yeah, no,
song.
we got one of those in the works.
Come on.
We'll get there by April. But the next few weeks, we are going out of town. We're on our baby tour from Carnap to Soundcheck tour.
So if anyone's in Providence, Rhode Island,
Yeah, Boston, Providence, Boston, and then the following week we're doing a one-off up in Maine, and then down to DC, and then we're going to spend some weekends with her around Hoboken,
excellent.
walking around.
And wait, I had one more question in my head from before because it's cinematic. It's different rhythms and
Dynamics.
dynamics.
Yep.
And, But do you ever get that urge to play like the hard and fast? Does it ever gnaw at you?
It's funny if we're, especially now that playing again with Mo, if I'm getting too rockin', like Mo and I will just be like, that's too Damen. It's in my DNA that I will just start rocking the songs out as we learn them. But there's just something about the 50-something rockers. God bless all of them, but I just don't feel comfortable just pushing that as our narrative.
Okay.
So I was let's and it's all the other guys are amazing musicians. I am not. So it is quite a challenge to be playing with all these really good cats and play out of my comfort zone. And that's how I've been spending the last few years trying to learn how to play this different style of music.
It's I'm a person of a certain age, but I find it delightful, and I highly recommend it.
Thank you.
All right, we've reached the end. We've run over. Thank you very much, Lyle Heisen, our guest this week.
Thank you, Jack. You're such a good. What we like about Jack is that he really likes the music of the bands, and you're just so supportive of all the bands. It's just amazing, dude. We need more people like you.
I like music, and when I say like you got a band, I'll come see you once.
Yeah.
If I come back, it means and I come back. I saw you last week.
But now you reached the point where I'm giving you the Friend Rock pass. Like you don't have to come see us. Like there have been people that have been seeing me for since I was like 15.
I feel I might have something else going on April 2nd.
There you go. We need people there.
Look, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Says awesome show, but she's biased.
Yeah. She's like
Jerry Fallow, I ran into on the street earlier, says it was a very fun interview.
Jerry, we want to play one of those festivals. Let us play.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Please.
How about Phone Boy and Royal Arctic? You have the children and the old men.
Oh yeah. We're not going to play with the polka dot guy. We'll play the old guy stage. Polka dots over there.
He just connected to me on LinkedIn.
There's my other kid.
Juju gave the little, and for those out there who don't know, if you put a little greater than sign or less than sign and a 3, it's a heart.
Yeah.
People don't know this.
Yeah, that's how I stay in touch with the kids, because I have 2 of them.
So just by doing online interviews and they comment, and that's
it's like, oh yeah, oh there, hi
Rosenberg,
dude,
and a message to Mike Rosenberg, who's a big fan of the not the Mets but of the Boston Red Sox. Eric Kammer says excellent show. Message only cover yours is just a Mike Rosenberg. Charlie Birdwell will be visiting. Is it in town? And I think tomorrow we're going to come by the shop. Tunes, a great record store here in town.
But did you see Mike's logo? His was 2 pieces of toast.
Yes, can we put that up again?
that is such the win. I'm gonna do 2 pieces of matzah.
I'm overheating. It's the lights and the jacket are. They checked my temperature before and I was fine.
You're not ready for male menopause yet, are you?
Look, I'm ready.
It's a thing. It's a thing. About what? For Mike's? Are we warning you about male menopause?
No,
Mike?
about me and Charlie coming by. Always
Mike.
with these little jabs. I try to be so nice and sweet, and I just get the little.
I don't know how old Mike is, but he might have already had male menopause.
He's
very youthful. And
we thank Rand Hoppy for his work on the technical end of this.
Oogie.
We thank one of the great Oogie things was he was singing a song, but he was reading the lyrics and he didn't know how the song goes.
Okay.
So he says, "You say tomato, I say tomato. You say potato, I say potato. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato."
That's
Because
good.
he didn't know.
I know. You know there are no Uncle Floyds on VHS. There none. They didn't save any of them.
I'm Facebook friends with Looney Skip Rooney, crazy right wing.
Is it really? That's just like kind of ruined.
But he's loony. He's loony.
Yeah.
So
But, yeah, no Uncle Floyds exist. It's a shame.
it's a shame.
Yeah, it's a Chandra.
So I know a woman named Chandra. All right, let's do the end credits here. This is Hoboken Talks. Coming up soon, Stuart Chirichilla will be in the hot seat. And after that, is that Temple basketball coach John Shea? Probably not. Probably not. But John Chaney will be here. Please come to the museum here. And we remember Mel Kiernan, who a resident who remembered the museum in his his papers, his will, which is something you can do, which is a wonderful.
You heard what I'm leaving the museum, right? One Maxwell coffee cup.
That's good too.
Yeah,
no, seriously.
If
you have money, great. If you don't, if you have some sort of Hoboken memorabilia, that's wonderful.
You get one.
Also,
you get one mug.
The New Jersey Historical Commission gave a technology grant, which is really from the first episodes of Hoboken Talks to now. The technology is so improved, and that grant has gone a long way.
That's nice.
Also, the New Jersey Council for the Humanities. Look at that font. Bam! Have been very supportive of the museum. The Shipyard Circle. Do you want to be in the Shipyard Circle? Then you got to open the wallet a little bit wider. You got to let those moths out. You got to really, the people who donated a very generous amount, we appreciate them. They are in the Shipyard Circle. You know what? You don't have to be in the Shipyard Circle. If you can come by and give a few bucks, that's awesome. Come buy a mug or a T-shirt or sticker. How about the Applied Development Company? How about them renting this museum space at 13th Street?
Mm-hmm.
And Hudson, they rent it for $1 a year.
Oh, that's nice.
It's incredibly nice. It's not the only way they support the museum, but it's a good way. It's a good way. The current main exhibit here at the museum is called The Avenue. It is a history of Washington Street. If you have, what I would do is I would watch this again on you. I think this one will be up on YouTube, but you jot down all the places that Lyle has lived in town, and as you come to the exhibit, you can kind of see, oh, he's at this street, he's at this street. And it's great. There's, again, memorabilia, signage, and just great stuff.
Awesome. I didn't see Lalo's House of Charles.
There is a box from Lalo's house. Yes! On the way out, I'll show you.
That is fantastic.
And I have a shirt from Lalo's house. Yes!
Dude, that's awesome.
Lalo, the family finally sold the spot.
Yeah.
And he is a little bit of an aged kind of a hippy dippy type.
Yeah.
Like a Crystals kind of a guy.
Awesome.
And he played a gig in just like him solo guitar and singing some great old tunes. And I bought a T-shirt from him.
Oh my God. You've been to the House of Charles.
It's the Junior, Charles Jr.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's always been my favorite. If only I had a store that sold me some Charles. Where would I go?
Up here, and I don't know if you had a chance, but as we pack up, you can look at the upper gallery exhibit, Circus Lives, Hovering Above, Balancing Below, artwork by Karen E. Gersh, who actually did her circus training right here in Hoboken.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's running till the end of the month. So come on down. And, well, you're following us somewhere on social media, but maybe you haven't liked the page, right? So that's what we're talking about. So on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter. What are some of Lyle? What are some of the other things that people TikTok?
Yeah. There's so many. Fax machines.
But join our online community.
Yes.
and like and subscribe and comment and
thumbs up,
thumbs up
emoji with the heart.
Do all the
praise.
things.
Yeah. Yep.
And thank you so much for listening, watching, commenting. We love you, and I don't have another interview lined up, but I gotta get Tom Bajour.
Yeah.
I gotta get Tim Follian.
Yeah.
And I got some others in my head. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rand. Thank you, Lyle.
Thank you for listening and watching.
And happy
Thank you, Jack.
Valentine's Day, everybody.